All right. Controversial question. Do you need to go to film school to be a filmmaker?
Wow, that is a very hot topic. I
Yeah.
know a lot of people are wondering about that for sure. Um,
Okay.
oh yeah,
Well, welcome.
thanks.
This is not really a official podcast of mine or anything like that. Honestly, just wanted to have a fun conversation with a fellow filmmaker and creative and photographer, super talented. But why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself?
Yeah. So my name is Dominic. I am the creative director at See the Sky Media, and yeah, I've been doing this professionally for coming up to my fifth year.
Wow. Okay. And how did you get into video and photography?
Yeah. No, I like my journey really started as a really young kid because I love creative arts. So I did a lot of like drawing, like painting as a kid. And then I slowly transitioned to more photography and videography in like my middle school days. Really was very intrigued with VFX work, especially trying to create my own Iron Man HUD. So like I was like told my parents like, yo, can we get a After Effects? And then like we they got it for me, and then yeah, start learning about there, and then really just did it as a hobby, just having fun with my friends, learning how to film, and yeah, it wasn't the greatest, but it was fun. Like, and then slowly transitioned to more high school. Like, got more invested in creating more digital media, and yeah, and went to university, and I felt like this is maybe what my career is looking like, going to this kind of realm, this videography and photography realm. And yeah, and like I said, kind of going off of that, I really was invested in cinematography and editing at that age. Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay. What has been some of the most memorable projects that you've worked on in the past?
Yeah, so my most memorable projects, there's a couple, there was a lot. But I think one of my most memorable would be when I traveled to Calgary and did a corporate hiring video for a restaurant in Calgary and Edmonton called Blowers in Grafton. It was such a fun time. One is because I got to travel for work, but two is just like, like it's what I felt very to me, because I love to do interviews, I love to do documentary style kind of filmmaking, getting as well as food, but like playing with the lights and just really being creative with it, and like just having fun with them. It's just one of my most memorable projects as well. Another one would be when I first started, because like it was like my first time doing a business. I haven't done like this getting into a business right away. So really my first project was with Mariner Brewing. So I did a brewing photos and video package for them, and it was fun, like getting to play with product photography, getting to do lifestyle work. To this day is really really one of my favorite projects. And like funny enough, like one the new owners, or like basically the Mariner Brewing still has one of my photos in their gallery, so it's really really interested, and really like just like that, looking back at it, like that's where I started. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I love actually seeing your work being displayed, and like they're like super proud of like having your photos, your videos on their websites. And like the best badge of honor is when they put like a profile picture, like the a photo that you took on their profile picture. And so that's like a super fun one. Um, what are some challenging projects that you had to overcome?
I would say there's like not like a challenging project. Like each project has some challenges or some
Right.
obstacles that will come up, whether that's through the pre-production or production side. There's always going to be some way. I think one of project I did was it was for portraits, doing some portraits for a client, and then basically they wanted some specifics with it. And then I edited it to what they suggested. But I think what the challenging part was that I overdid it. I think I overstepped it. That was one of the big challenges. And basically they gave me some feedback like I don't really fit the style. So it was really challenging because like at that time I was still really pretty
Right.
new to this.
Yeah.
So it was definitely a challenge like in terms of like, oh, how do I deal with this situation?
Yeah. And
So
like not take it too personally.
yeah, not take it too
Right.
personally. Like to this day I still still take every project and every experience with with the mindset of like, hey, I want to learn from this
Right.
basically. So yeah, like through that project it really taught me that I shouldn't overdo it. And then as well as giving them sneak previews just to make sure that, hey, this is what I'm editing, this is the style that I'm going through.
Yeah.
They're okay with it, and then then proceed with the rest of it.
Right.
I don't try not to edit all the photos all at once, just because like I said, there's gonna be feedback. There's gonna be some
Yeah.
feedback from the client saying like, hey, I don't really like the style, so
Yeah.
let's like redo some of the parts like right here. And I was like, totally, that's fine. Like, yeah, that's the biggest thing is like not to edit all the photos right away. Do some photos, give them sneak previews. After they give the initial feedback, then you start editing the rest of the photos. Because right now, like once you create a preset, just
Yeah.
paste it on.
Yeah. No, that's similar to music. It's like I've had times where I would finish a whole edit and then I didn't check in with them if they like the music, and then they would be like, "Ah, can you like change the music?" That's always like the biggest thing
Yeah.
for creating an edit. So what I normally do now is I like select like 3 songs, and then I just send that in, and then they usually pick one, or they'll tell me like I hate all of them. I want it more this vibe, and then we can kind of get a better gauge, because music is like the hardest thing to change out from a video. I'm sure you're aware of that.
Oh yeah. Definitely, like if you're editing to the beat and you chose that track and it's like, can we just change the whole music? I'm like, oh my goodness, that's gonna add so much time. Yeah. So music is, I totally agree. Like music is definitely one of the tricky things to change. Like same with you, I would just send them like tracks for them to view.
Yeah.
Like I usually ask them like most of the time like, hey, what kind of vibe do you want this video to be? And then through there, then like, okay, we want to upbeat, we want to, okay, totally, that's good. Let me look for some of those tracks similar to those vibes that you told me. Send you some tracks. Let me know what your like top 2. Sometimes they don't have like a big choice. Like usually they give me like a top 1 or a top 2, but usually I give them flexibility. Hey, just pick your top 2, and then we can intermerge it if you want like both tracks. So yeah.
All right. Controversial question. Do you need to go to film school to be a filmmaker?
Wow, that is a very hot topic.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people are wondering about that for sure. Okay, like for skill wise, I think to me, how I see the industry, changing and how people are getting information. I wouldn't say like for the basics, like you can learn it through a lot of YouTube videos. For sure, there's many great creators and many great filmmakers that have gone through this, that did a lot of this stuff, and you can definitely learn the basic skills. If you want to go more advanced, for example, I want to learn more about. For my program, we learned about both the TV side and the filmmaking side. So we learned about live switching. If you want to learn about, hey, like how to multicam, or like when you get jobs, they're usually asking you, hey, like, do you know how these skills, like these things? Sometimes, for me personally, I feel like it's great to have some of those knowledge from a program. Shout out to BCIT, television video production program, but like the instructors there are all professional in their field. Like that's what I like about it. It's like 2-year program, really intense, but they are very invested already in the industry already. So I feel like getting that industry knowledge from like professionals as well as people that have been in this industry for so long, and gaining the knowledge and gaining some of those things is really, to me, really beneficial. So it really varies. I think like the basic skills, I think you can learn it through YouTube, but if you're looking for more advanced skills as well as working your way up to working in a professional field and learning like, oh, what is a union, like what are some steps to get into a union, then I would say definitely you need to me, you need to go to a film school. You need to go to like a program that has those accreditations as well as, you know, getting that knowledge as well.
Right, right. And I think it's really cool because we both have pretty different experiences in terms of our filmmaking background. Because you went to school
Mm-hmm.
for filmmaking, but I actually don't have
Mm-hmm.
uh, a traditional education
Mm-hmm.
in filmmaking. And so my university was YouTube University. And so yeah, my idea of or my feedback on whether you choose to go into the film industry, it really matters on where
Mm-hmm.
you want to go in the film industry. So I think if you want to go into the Hollywood film, I think definitely you do need to go to film school for that. But if you're just doing it to be a YouTube content
Mm-hmm.
creator, I don't think that's too necessary.
Mm-hmm.
But if you kind of are taking the route that I am going through, which is create my own video marketing agency, work with B2B businesses. And so depends where you want to take it. But no, definitely, I think, yeah, the answer is pretty subjective to
Mm-hmm.
where you want to go
Yeah.
and where you want to take that.
No, for sure. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, like you said, it's definitely, there's definitely very depending on what route you want to go, right?
Mm.
Because like if you strictly going for YouTube stuff or like more online stuff, then you don't necessarily need to use like a program. I think it will be beneficial to, like, if you're talking about the business side, it will be great to, you know, at least take like some courses regarding
Yep.
some businesses. I mean, you can learn from YouTube as well,
Yeah.
but it's like best to like, oh, like go into like how they do it through school, because through schooling you get more in depth. Like I said, there's more instructors or people that have worked in the industry and given that feedback as well. So yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. No, I completely agree with that. On the business side of things, how do you navigate your business side, being a photographer and videographer?
That's a really good question. It's definitely something I'm still learning. Because like for me, it's like, um, I'm really just into like editing and
Yep.
and doing all the videography stuff and
Yeah.
editing stuff, which are great, but like I just don't have time to go invest it
Right.
like right into my business, like creating a website, which
Yeah.
I need to do.
Yeah.
But like I feel like, yeah, it's something I'm still continuing to learn, but like kind of like related to the business side, like in terms of like, oh, how do I negotiate with clients, is
Yeah.
basically a lot of it is, you know, getting to hear from their ideas. Like
Yeah.
my whole nature of my business is that collaboration process.
Yeah.
I feel like it's not just one person doing it all. I feel like there has to be this bridge that, you know, client has some of their needs and then we bring in some of our needs and then we try and find that common ground. And I feel like that's really important in terms of how you work with your clients. It's like, oh, this is my idea and then you gotta follow with it. If
Yep.
it doesn't align with their brand values, then what's
Right.
like really the point of making the video? So my whole idea is like, you know, what's your side, what's your story, you know, how can I help use my skills I have to help you promote your business. And yeah, most of the clients are really appreciative of that and they really, you know, enjoy that process. And I really enjoy it because I feel like that connection is what makes a great video. You know, like if you work together both on like pre-production side and then have them, you know, have a little input in the production side, like just in terms of how they want the layout, that's how they feel like, oh, I can trust this person. You know,
Yeah.
that's the biggest thing. I think the biggest thing in the business is that initial trust that you can establish with your client. Yeah.
Yeah, no, definitely. I can relate to that struggle of being what's called the technician, and then there's also being the business owner. And then actually one of the books that I'm reading right now, it's called The E-Myth, and it breaks that down into three categories actually, and it's being the technician, the manager, and then the entrepreneur. And so, like, I think us being the videographers, the photographers, we're very much in the work.
Mm-hmm.
And so for us to dive into the business side of things, it's like a whole different skill set. So
Yep.
it's like such a different learning curve for
Mm-hmm.
us, and it takes a lot of um, patience and time to kind of manage that. And man,
Mm-hmm.
just hearing you say like it's like really difficult balancing. Okay, do I do the work or do I do um, work on the business?
Yeah.
People also say work don't work in your business, work on your business, and I hear that all the time.
For sure, for sure. Yeah.
Um, what kind of marketing strategies have you found most effective to promote your work?
Yeah. So most of the times that I worked in my business was a lot of word of mouth. That's like really traditional, but it still works. I feel that, you know, a lot of people that I worked with were like basically referrals. And I feel like through those referrals, I have retainer clients, basically retainers that, you know, when they have a video project or when you produce a video that's really good for them and they love your work attitude, you get those retainer clients. That has been a big thing. Like I said in the previous questions, basically, you know, I'm still trying to, you know, implement an idea of like, oh, how do I market myself? And that's something I continue to learn and trying to put myself out there, because there's a lot of work that I want to post, but it really like there's that struggle where like it's their business, like can I post this?
Yeah.
You know, so I usually try to ask permissions, like can I post it, but like the biggest thing is like I own the footage.
Yeah.
But it's hard, you know, sometimes like you have to, like for most of the clients they say like, oh, wait for us to post it, then you can post it.
Right.
That's usually like that.
Yeah.
But usually I just share it like, hey, I done this. But yeah, no. Going back to the question, I feel like one thing that I'm trying to strive for in 2024 is, you know, one's website, but the other is trying to create a video promo for my business, basically.
Yeah, like a
So
showcase reel.
yeah, like a showcase reel. Like, you know, this is the work I do, but it's more like a more personal reel.
Yeah.
Like trying to make it fun, trying to make it really inviting. So that's what I'm trying to figure out, like how to do. Like I'm thinking of two reels, like one's a fun one, one's more of a traditional one.
Yeah.
But like I feel like the biggest thing to, you know, and the biggest marketing strategy to me, I feel like is really showcasing your personality, right?
Right.
Because like you know, when a client or a potential client sees you and sees your personality
Yeah.
on screen, I feel like that's like a personal connection.
Yeah.
You want to have that personal
Yeah.
connection with them first.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's a big marketing strategy, and a big, you know, marketing tool is that, can we trust this person? Yeah.
That's exactly it. That's why people call it personal brand. You're literally, you're not really, you know, a company or corporation. You're literally a personal brand. And so, no, I definitely am with you on that. And just being able to put yourself out there, create reels for yourself. I like got like so many pieces of gear and things to help me actually like build out these content. Like I got like a Insta 360 so that I can shoot more BTS, but just show, people love seeing the behind the scenes.
Yeah.
It shows like kind of the reality of your business, and also creates, what's the word? They're able to relate to you. And so that is something that I'm also trying to build. So, I'm always open to maybe we can shoot each other's like highlight video or help each other out with that.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, that's the biggest thing about, you know, in this industry is, like I said in the beginning, it's not about, you know, working alone. You
Right.
know, there has to be a balance between, you know, collaboration, and it's just not with clients. I feel like collaborating with other creators as well. One is, you know, you create that connection, but two, you can learn from each other, right?
Right.
Because I feel like other people has different styles, and you get to learn from them. Like, hey, this technique that I might not have learned from you, that I can implement to my system, and then like vice versa. It's like, hey, I see like you shooting this way or editing this way, I can use it. It's that like it's kind of like a conversation. You three like it
Yeah.
has to be a two-way. It's not one way. There has to be a two-way conversation. Yeah.
What editing software do you use?
I use Premiere Pro for my main editing, but I'm kind of jumping a little bit into DaVinci to like do a little bit more coloring because I feel like there was one video that I did pretty recent. I used DaVinci to color, and I feel like that's pretty interesting. The node system is really interesting. So
Yeah.
I'm still with Premiere because a lot of my projects are in Premiere, but like it's good to explore that different
Right.
software as well.
Yeah, no, I'm in the exact same boat. I just haven't really invested enough time into DaVinci. I really do want to learn its color grading. But yeah, oh man, yeah. I think Premiere Pro. It was like I would say if we're talking about 2021 Premiere Pro versus DaVinci Resolve, a lot of people jumped that ship during that time. But Premiere Pro has kind of stepped up its game in 2023 and 2024 on its AI features. So I think that's where it's picking back up on the price tag because yeah, the price tag is just out of this world pretty much.
Yep, like subscription basis, like I, it's a big business expense. Like
Right.
you look at DaVinci in the studio, it's just a one-time fee and
Yep.
you get all the features.
Yeah.
Yeah, like it's still because like when you're so in tune with that editing
Right.
atmosphere, it's so kind of hard to switch it like
Yeah.
automatically. It takes time. So like I'll learn it alongside like some passion projects.
Yeah.
Use DaVinci, and then from there I can justify like do I switch it, and then
Right.
like it's justifiable because of the price,
Yeah.
but it's not justifiable because I have to really rethink my whole editing,
Yeah.
like basically workflow. So it takes time.
Yeah, exactly. And yeah, for me, I just don't know if that time investment is like worth it for me.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Yeah, no. Where do you see yourself in the future with your business in the next 1, 2, 5, 10 years?
Yeah, no. I feel like for me, I hope to one day, try to produce a self documentary. Um, yeah, that's one of my goals. Is like try to create a project that I feel like that really resonates with me, and hopefully it does take time. And I need to like sit down and really think about it, but. Yeah, I feel like I want to use this documentary and send it to festivals, showcase the work. But it's just something really personal to me. And like kind of like share like an ideas basically, growing up in Canada as an Asian, basically
Yep.
we call CBC. But like really navigating identity, I feel like that's a really big topic right now. It's just like, how do we see ourselves like like I'm Asian,
Yeah.
and living in Canada, how do I like bridge those two cultures together?
Right.
Yeah, because from families coming from a different country to Canada, such as to a different country such as Canada, yeah, just hearing from their stories, just hearing like one of their struggles, and just how do we connect those bridge, and how do we continue to preserve that culture? And I just
Right.
feel like that's something that really resonates with me. Yeah.
No, man, that's awesome to hear you wanting to do and produce. What do you think some of the next steps would be to kind of move the needle a little bit in towards that direction of achieving your goals?
Yeah. I think the biggest thing is kind of pitch it to some of my friends and see how it resonates with them. I'm just feeling like with documentaries, like I do want to get, people that are like pretty like well known.
Yeah.
But it all starts with, your own personal circle,
Right.
and just asking them, hey, like you coming from a different country, like how do you feel? Or just being born here, how do you feel? Like just getting that personal connection first. And then from there, like kind of pitching to some of my filmmaking friends, like see what their thoughts are, because there's so many stories about this.
Yeah.
There has to be a character that has to resonate.
Yeah.
with this original idea was just kind of think about me because like I grew up here and like
Right.
and like being really in tune with the culture with the Chinese culture. So but like I don't want to focus on me, but like try to find different characters as well that resonate with the same issue. So
Yeah.
really just like first steps like kind of talking with my friends about this, and then later on trying to pitch it to some of my filmmaking friends and try to build up like a pitch deck, something.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it's all on tape now, so we're gonna hold you to it.
Oh, okay. Yep.
Yeah. No. Definitely something. I guess similar that I want to do sometime in my lifetime is maybe not like a full-fledged documentary, but like maybe just like a simple interview with my mom actually. And so I am Vietnamese, my mom's Vietnamese, and she had to escape Vietnam during the Vietnam War. And so I hear stories, but like I can't really comprehend what she had to go through. She had to escape Vietnam when she was 16 years old. So I'm 25 years old right now, and I just can't imagine doing that 10 years ago when I didn't even know how to tie my shoes, probably. Yeah. So there's so much rich history and experience within our culture, and even like with your parents as well. They probably had to go through so much as well, and so I definitely see where you're coming from, and I'm excited for that.
Yeah, I mean we can collaborate. I mean we're both you were born here. Yeah,
I was born here.
Yeah. So we got some common.
Yeah.
So
exactly.
I think there could be like some common ground we could work it out. But
Definitely.
no, it's definitely like it's kind of a little off topic, but yeah, I mean the biggest thing I feel these days is like where do we put our identity, right? I feel like that's really, to me, that's been a really hot topic that really resonated with me, because a lot of people, not particularly, but a lot of people just think like, oh, like I want to speak my own language, but sometimes they speak in like English or something, and they feel like I wouldn't understand, and that really questions with me. It's like, okay, yeah, I'm born here, but I like I know I haven't come from like your country, like Hong Kong or anything, but like like I'm so invested into learning your culture. Like how do I connect with you if I don't really understand where you're coming from? So I just, that really really hit me, like it's really important that like we're born here, but it's so important to learn from our parents' culture, right? How they sacrifice so much to transition from their country and coming here for the children. But it really resonates, that really resonates with me.
Yeah, no, definitely. What kind of advice would you give to aspiring photographers and videographers who are just starting out?
Yeah, one advice, really big advice, is keep on learning. I feel like there is a point where you feel like, oh, I reached the top, but there's so much stuff you can learn. I felt like when I first started my business, there's so much learning. There's so much, to understand the business side of it. Like, so I have an older sister that really helped me through it, and getting to learn from her and getting to learn how to like market and like how to write emails and everything, all those business side, and try to pitch it. That's really a big help. And I felt like to this day, like I owe it all to her, like to like that started my business, as well as my parents, like everyone that supported me. But yeah, I feel like keep on learning. I feel like that's a really big advice. Like every time I go on a shoot or a new job, I pick up really new techniques. Like there's this job that I always do for an event. And this editing technique with multicam and everything really just, opened my eyes to like how to speed up my process. And like I use some of those skills, and it was so good. It was so good because like it just allowed me to speed up my workflow. And I keep on learning. I keep on trying to improve along the way. Yeah.
Nice. Another thing I would probably add, speaking to my older self as well, is to always connect and like always network. And another cliche saying is your net worth is your network. And so that's exactly how we kind of met too, right? We gave ourselves a chance and we invested into ourselves and we went to Northbound. Well, it was called BC VidCon. Shout out to Northbound.
Shout out to Shaya.
Shout out to Shaya, because yeah, he was the one that set up that event for us to connect and network,
Yeah.
and so that's super awesome to do if you're starting out as well.
Yeah, no, I like kind of add on to you. It's so important to have these network events, not just specific conferences, meetups. We see a lot of different accounts, different groups have meetups. I would say go to those meetups. It's like you said, it's that connection. You never know who you're going to connect, who you're going to meet, who you're going to say, hey, if you need help on this shoot, I'm available. That's like kind of a stepping stone where like, if they know your work, if they've seen your work and they see your attitude, that's the biggest thing.
Yeah.
It was so funny. It's like basically, I think it was one meetup I did where I connected with no, actually it wasn't. It was a lot of word of mouth, but like basically from the referral, like this colleague that I continue to work with, I know from his account, from my IG account that like his IG account that I follow, and it's like, yo, this connection is like, I know you from here, and then you're
Nice.
part of this,
Yeah.
and then from there we just connect, and up to this day we're still having that good connection.
Nice.
We always bounce off ideas, but also willingness to like support each other and help each other. So I feel like yes, like network events, it's so important in building up your brand as well as connecting with other fellow creators.
Yeah.
If someone needs help and you have those expertise, that's how you get those connections.
Yeah. How can listeners follow you and your journey, and where can you send them?
Yeah, no. If you want to follow, more of my work, See the Sky Media's work, you can follow my IG at C2Sky. That's SEATOSKY_media on Instagram. Yeah, like all my contact info is on my page. But yeah, like I love to connect with other clients as well, but like other creators as well. If you want to learn more about my journey, but like how can I support you, I'm so open to giving those advice. Yeah, so you can find me on Instagram, and hopefully to get my website up pretty soon.
Nice.
Yeah, that's one of my business goals. Like I need to get my website up really soon.
Nice. Not sponsored, but I use Squarespace. You can feel free to use Squarespace.
Squarespace, can you sponsor us?
Yeah, I know.
No, I was kidding.
I want to make it one of my biggest goals is to get sponsored by Squarespace.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Awesome. Well, thank you very much, Dom, for hopping on this chat with me, and we will wrap it there.
Yeah. Thanks, Samson, for having me on.
Great.